What's up? What's up? What's up, beautiful people? It's Pretty Girl Love Trap Content, and we are here, you guys, to recap, review, discuss, do all the things with the last episode of OG Power. This is crazy because I'm kind of feeling the way. I'm not real Carl Thomas right now. I'm not completely emotional, but this has been a journey. If you guys don't know, I started reviewing OG Power. Oh my God, probably 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, 2.5, almost three probably. And that was like my very first live show was episode 1, season 1. And thank you for joining me, Brillo and Mo.J. They was there at the beginning of the journey. I've had guests like Moochella's Reviews, Rewind It with Miss K. Like, I believe this is kind of like a growth moment, you guys. I'm not even gonna hold you. So I am so excited to conclude this show, you guys. So we got to get into it. Before we do, if you don't mind liking the video, subscribing, do all the things, because Raising Kanan will be starting shortly. So I definitely wanted to complete this before we start Raising Kanan. Okay, what's up, Mr. Jones? DeMarcus, Support Gaming. Yes, it's been that fast, and I've taken many breaks, you guys. So I appreciate you guys for whoever has been rocking with me through the little inconsistencies. You need a little break here and on. It was 6 seasons, you guys. 6 seasons and what? 65 episodes? Come on, give your girl a break. Give your girl a break, okay? So I want to thank you guys. Just to let you know, I'm feeling a little Barry White tea bozzy up in the throat. Okay, I may get a little raspy. I had the flu a few weeks ago, and I've noticed since I've had the flu, when I start talking a lot, my voice, I don't know, I start coughing and my voice gets a little weird. And, I got asthma too, so that don't help. So if I'm taking breaks, my apologies. I just want to let you guys know in advance because I had a live earlier today. So that took a lot of my muster, okay? Support Game, you said it literally feel like you just started these power reviews. Really? Oh, it does. But I'm excited to start Raising Kanan season 4. Okay, but let's get into this. It sold. All right, because we start off with Tasha being Tasha, doing what she does best. Okay, she's knocking on Q's door. They have a few little words, and of course, they end up in the bedroom. Okay, there's a meeting in his bedroom every time she come over there. Okay, and that's one thing Power does well. They do the intimate scenes very well. I would not take that away from them. Okay, so when they done, she must have did a good job because Q was over there sleep. Okay, she done rocked that man to sleep. So Tariq was over there texting her, and she didn't respond. So she knew, okay, I gotta go home to my kids. Okay, I am a mother. Okay, so she, puts her little clothes on, and on her way out the door, she notices Q has a little blicky in his nightstand. So we already know it's going somewhere. Okay, it's going somewhere. Tasha's always plotting and scheming. Okay, so she gets home to Reek, and Reek really acting like he the man of the house. Okay, and don't get me wrong, Tasha kind of gave him that role a little bit, and he was like, "Yo, where was you at? Like, girl, like." She was like, I was with somebody, okay? And he was like, well, I thought Ghost did something to you. So it was more of a fear because he was thinking his daddy did something to her because not too long ago, Ghost put his hands on Tasha, okay? So Tasha was like, Tariq, we don't have nothing to worry about because Ghost would no longer be an issue because I told the Popo information that led to evidence of James murking my side dude, Silver. Okay, she didn't say the side dude part, but y'all already know. So Tariq was shocked and appalled. He clutched his pearls. He was like, Mama, you out there snitching? I want the man to be handled, but snitching is a no-go. Like, we not doing that over here, okay? It was so funny when Tariq was over there just like, You snitching, mama? She was like, even your daddy told me, okay? Sometimes you got to remove somebody to get them out your way. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting him out my way. Child, this is a lot. This is one of the most toxic families ever, child. So the next morning, Tariq, he's waking Tasha up, okay, because she didn't get the good sleep that Q got. You know, she was over there burning the calories too. So it took her a little minute to wake up. And she was like, what, boy, what's going on? He was like, Mama, look at the TV. Look at the TV, bruh. Because why is James St. Patrick on the tube, okay? So they're discussing how James is, leaving the Tate administration and going over there with Lorette Ross. Welch. So, that made me want a grape juice. It's Lorette Walsh, I believe. So, I'm thirsty, you guys. Let me go on over here and give me a little sippy sip. What's up, OTRP to the GOAT? That is facts. So, Tariq was like, bruh, mother, your plan did not work, because if it did, he would not be over here on our TV. She was like, dang, if he over there doing all this, trying to run for office, they're going to run a background check. And if they run a background check, they're going to see some things. So we got to figure this out. So she called Saxe up like, Saxe, what the F? Why are you not doing your job, sir? I done gave y'all plenty of information. Like, what is up? Saxe was like, our hands are tied, ma'am. We trying to work, but Tasha don't have the patience, okay? So next thing we see, Tariq, he's over there at the diner with Lisa Marie and her aunt. He's over there listening to the recording of Tommy talking too damn much while he's Louise, okay? So he immediately, of course, take that information and tell Uncle Tommy, right? And Tommy was like, damn, all right, I got to figure some things out. So Tariq was like, bruh, whatever you do not hurt Elisa Marie. She's a good kid. Tommy was like, bro, we're not doing that, okay? We're not doing that. I rock with Malcolm X, okay, by any means necessary. I am not over here trying to accommodate you, sir, okay? That's what we not going to do. That is what we not going to do, right? So Tariq, he goes to meet up with Dre, and he's requesting a blicky. But Dre was like, all right, I'll get you a blicky because I need me a meeting with your daddy. Tamika, hey, boo. It feels so good to see you in the chat. I didn't expect you to be up in here, girl. Just know, I was on the main line, girl. I was on the main line, okay? Love you. I really am so glad to see you in the chat. I'm actually getting hot. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Okay. Let me get it together, because y'all don't know. This little community of ours, we love each other, whatnot. Okay. So shout out to Tamika. Thank you so much for coming through. Love you. So try not to get emotional. Okay. So Ghost, he's over there at Raina's grave, right? And this scene, y'all, goes down in history and the power books. Okay. So Tasha, she pulling up with some flowers in her hand, right? And so Ghost was like, what you doing here? She was like, I'm always here every week, bruh. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, what you doing here? He was like, yeah, I came to see my daughter and tell her about my future plans. Child. Then he was like, you know what, Tasha, I'm sorry about the other night. You was just running your mouth too damn much, okay? And you the reason why that boy over there hating me. I blame you. I was like, oh, Ghost, you doing a lot. But I also want to know, this is the reason why I really enjoy these last 5 episodes, because we're viewing everybody's perspective. So if you are paying attention, you would notice a lot of the scenes and the dialogue and the actions are different based on everyone else's perspective. So the dialogue in this scene specifically is different than episode 10 when we see Ghost and Tasha at the cemetery. So a lot of the things that was said it's different based on the 2 episodes. And I do feel like, of course, people hear what they want to hear. They feel what they want to feel. So I do feel like, especially this episode particularly, a lot of the actions and things and Tasha's point of view is accumulation of a lot of things. Of course, her perspective, that's a given. Her guilt, her frustrations, and just a lot of things that she's dealing with. So, and it's, her truths. Okay. So Ghost was like, Tasha, you need to stop selling drugs. That's what you need to stop doing. I was like, look at the pot calling the kettle. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Right? Because, and I'm not mad at all, but it's just hilarious to me. How do y'all feel about Ghost being the one now telling Tasha to stop selling drugs? It's hilarious. I mean, he right about that, but it's just hilarious to me. Like, what a role reversal here. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. He been wanting to stop, and he's gonna mention that later on in the episode. Hey, Steven, what's up? How are you? Support game. You said, well, the GOAT kind of got what he deserved. He was never getting out the game clean. OT Ghost was talking greasy and herpes, but that's what I'm saying. But that's how it be sometimes when, people recount or, are going through certain things. Like, sometimes you be like what you say? Like, your mom be paying tricks on you a little bit. So Ghost was like, you know what? I'm completely legit, and I'm not going to let you and your raggedy actions affect my life and my son's life. So I'm going to take the kids to Albany with me, and Ramona's going to help raise our kids. Okay, because she's a good influence. I need to take them away from your badass influence. I was just like, well, what do y'all feel about that? I mean, honestly, Tasha, you are making bird moves. So I understand that he sees your bird activities as a danger to the kids, right? So he had the nerve to say, I released you from our marriage completely. Be Tasha Green, the half smart chicken head who would still be in the hood if it wasn't for me. Now, this line is debatable because people are feeling that the half smart chicken head thing was either erased or a deleted scene because people remember that particular line, but when they talk about the finale, they're like, that line isn't in there, but they have to remember it's based on people's perspective. So the half smart chicken head line is on Tasha's in her perspective, but it didn't happen in Ghost's perspective, which was episode 10. So that's why people set trip when they watched the finale, well, episode 10, because they're like, hold up, I thought he said half smart chicken head. No, it's the scene that occurs in Tasha's perspective. Well, this episode is a combination of Tasha and Tariq's perspective. But Tasha, is that what you that's the thing, right? Is this what Tasha feel that is this her subconscious? Or is this what she feel like she heard Ghost say? Because referring to yourself as a half smart chicken head is wild to me, okay? And do y'all believe that if it wasn't for Ghost, she would still be in the hood? Because I'm not going to even hold you guys. Tasha had low brains, right? She was going to accounting school. She got knocked up. Yes, she started to use her smarts for illegal things. But nonetheless, I feel like she did have tools to take her places in life. But honestly, she probably would have still been in the hood because we saw they was over here in the penthouse and she's still telling Ghost she wanted him to be the biggest drug dealer in New York City. So honestly, wherever the girl was going to be, she was still going to be a bird. You know what they say? You could take the hood or the ghetto out of the person. Well, you can take the person out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the person. Did I say that right, y'all? It's late. It's late. You could take the girl out of the hood, but not the hood out of the girl. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? I'm tired, boss. Oh, guys. See, I could be funny with y'all because it is what it is. It is what it is. This last episode, we could do whatever we want to do, okay? Yes, that's correct, OT. She just would have found her another ninja. And she would have went from ninja to ninja to ninja. Okay, it would have been leapfrog in the projects with Tasha Green. Okay, that's how her MO was at the end of the day. So, have smart chicken head. Do y'all agree even with that line? Because there has been a lot of debate about her being a half smart chicken head. Like, we're going to take it old school. Put a one in the chat if half smart chicken head was accurate. Because she could have low key, I'm pretty sure probably was 75%. So he gave her 50%. I'm gonna say she's at least 75. Well, no, because she did still want to sell drugs when they were successful. Yeah, I think half smart is probably accurate. I cannot support said now she's with I cannot. I don't think she don't even work there no more. So she done found somebody else, child. So Tasha, she gets back to her apartment, right? And she gets a knock on the door, and it's Tommy. She was like, "Oh, Tommy, thank you so much. We need to get rid of Ghost, okay? Because he's out here wilding out." And then I ain't talking about Nick Cannon, okay? He was like, Tasha, F all that. F all that. Bro, do you have something to tell me? And she was looking like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you left something at my house. So he brings a little earring, right? He was like, yeah, the Popos thought this was Keisha's earring. But I know this earring specifically because it's the same earring that Holly stole from your ass. So I know you murked her. So you lied to me the whole time. You got me thinking Ghost murked my lady, and it was you. It was you the whole time. And she was like, Tommy, she was going to snitch. Look at the paperwork. It's over there on the dining room table. Tommy ain't trying to hear none of that. Getting into Tommy's mess, that's a whole nother rant I'm not about to do. But it's interesting, right? Because in this scene, Tommy has the blicky right here on the chinny chin, right? And he's over there talking to her like, yeah, what's up? But in his perspective, he's about 4 to 5 feet away from Tasha. So this is what I'm talking about. I love the intricacies that the directors and maybe the writers, I guess, too, took when it came to those details in each perspective. Like, I don't want to say this is completely like genius, but I do feel like this is very crafty and entertaining writing if you're really paying attention to these things. And maybe people aren't. I feel like, honestly, with the whole spectacle of finding out who murked Ghost, we had to wait 5 weeks. People get so caught up in that and not necessarily the good writing and the decisions that the writers took in this particular, 5 episodes. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to get into the debate on which season is better, but I do want to give these last episodes some credit. So, Tasha, she's crafty. So she started bringing up the kids. She was like, just make sure you take care of the kids. And we already know, just like ODB, Tommy love the kids. Okay. So once, it's soaked in like, dang, I don't want Tariq and Yaz over here motherless. So he leaves, right? And of course, he spares a little life. So she's happy. So Reek, he goes to Ghost's house. Ghost's office. So we had Truth. And so Ghost was very much happy to see him. Like, I'm happy to see you, son. Yada, yada, yada. But Tariq's energy is definitely not matching. He's definitely giving, I don't F with you. I don't F with you, okay? And he was like, son, I know you probably have said I put my hands on your mother, but you got to understand relationships, they're a little complex, okay? But he was like, yo, when I put my hands on Raina, you had all the smoke. You told me to never put hands on a woman. And I think this part of the conversation is kind of an inkling and an example of how Ghost is a hypocrite, especially in Tariq's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this man is telling me not to do X, Y, and Z, that he goes to do X, Y, and Z, and he excuses it. So this is like another notch. Like, you know what? I can't F with you. I can't F with you, Ghost. You ain't my real daddy anyway. Kanan my real daddy. That's pretty much what I feel like Tariq is thinking at this point. So Drake enters the chat. Okay, he comes in, and of course, Ghost is hot. He mad. He like, what he doing here? Tariq was like, yo, I had no choice but to bring him here. He wanted to talk to you. He got everything on me, so I had to bring him here, right? So Tariq goes to the hallway. And, he has a book bag. So he puts a little blicky in the hallway, like in a little compartment and what have you, right? So he goes back to school. I'm like, damn, Tariq, how many periods you done missed? You went over there, was, pressing your mom about James St. Patrick at the house. You went to see Elisa Marie. You went to see your Uncle Tommy. Then you went to see Dre. Then you went to go see your daddy. And you made it back in time, and school is still in session. Like, I don't know. I don't know. They had Uber back then, but I guess we're going to leave that alone, okay? He probably did all that before 11 a.m. But he goes back to see his teacher getting locked up, right? And this teacher was selling work for him. So he's like, damn, like, what's... But at the end of the day, we got to make sure we got to keep our distance, okay? We cannot get caught up in that. So shout out to the teacher, because I don't feel like the teacher snitched, okay? Let me see what y'all talking about. OT says she's a whole chicken. Yeah, it's giving very much Project Pat. Bald head, scallywag. Ain't got no hair in the back, gelled up, weaved up. Your hair is up. Support Gaming, you said Tommy forgiving Tasha in book 2 was bad writing. Yeah, but it's on par for Tommy. You know, Tommy, he loves his family. Look at the toxic relationship he has with his mother. You know what I'm saying? So it's on brand. It's definitely, part of his characteristic to go back and forth. Even though Tasha did some fugaziness, don't get me wrong. But, and not saying I'm not disagreeing with you or agreeing with you. I'm just saying it's on par for his character. You said the different version episodes makes no sense because Ghost was a drunk in Tariq's version and nearly put his hands on him, but Ghost was sober in episode 10. And I went back myself because when I did get to that scene, I vaguely remember Ghost going to the bar and fixing him a drink. But I did note that Ghost was clearly drunk in Tariq's version. But I won't say it doesn't make sense because it's Tariq's perspective. We have to think about the scenes that Tariq's had when his father was drunk. He probably thinks, as his father, I mean, that's kind of a stretch to think of him as a whole drunk. But I do feel like Ghost was fixing himself a drink at the bar. But in Tariq's perspective, Ghost was drinking a lot more. Well, I would say at that point he was drunk, okay? Or very much tipsy. Mr. Jones says, not who murked Ghost, who shot Ghost, LOL. Support Game said, why the teacher look like Paul from Raising King? I don't think so. Not all Caucasian people look alike. I don't think so. Shout out to Raising King. I just rewatched the whole season like the past couple days. So, and that's a great show. I'm sorry. That show is fire. Okay. Even the rewatch is fire. Well, we'll get into that next week. So, y'all, Tasha, she gets summoned to Sack's apartment, and he got Tamika over there, and he was like, yo, bro, we need more intel on Ghost, because if not, I'm going down. She was like, what in the Mary J. Blige are you talking about? Like, what you mean? Like, how are you going down for this? So Sax, he really didn't get into the particulars, but he was like, yo, Tariq is going to be in a bad situation. He's probably going to go down for this Raymond Jones situation, especially since Lakeisha is not alive to corroborate his story any longer. And they was like, well, did Ghost do her? like they really itching over here. They just really think Ghost be murking everybody. And don't get me wrong, he be murking a good 70% of the people they be thinking he murking. But at the end of the day, they be putting everybody on Ghost. They be trying so hard. So she leaves over there to go back to the daycare with no kids, right? And then we see her pressing the heck out of Tate, right? And in this particular scene, which is a vast difference from Tate's perspective, Tasha is like really on Tate talking about Silver and what have you, right? But I really think this dialogue in this scene is really just exploring and just illustrating like her guilt and her indiscretions with her affair with Terry Silver, and her desperation to save, air quotes, save or cover for Tariq, however you want to look at it. You know, she's thinking she's saving, but she's really covering for Tariq, which is kind of be one of the same. But nonetheless, she's doing too damn much, low key. What's up, Candy Love? Thank you for coming through. Support gaming. You said, I guess Courtney Kemp was trying to mirror Ghost's relationship with his own father because his dad was a drunk too. Yeah, possibly. It's a generational thing, honestly. So, is Courtney Kemp even writing anything right now? Let us sister know. I know she had a couple deals, but anywho, so Tasha, she has a busy day going on as well. So she goes to the penthouse for the final walkthrough. Okay, they have made all the repairs from when Tommy just really disrespected the penthouse and with what he did with Proctor. Okay, so I don't know if it was the realtor or the building manager. He gives her a bag of personal effects that they obtained from, I don't know if it was the office or the bedroom. I really want to feel like it's the bedroom. They had dialogue that Mark said the bedroom, but I don't know. It was kind of off. But Ghost's spare truck key was in that baggie, right? I'm like, what you gonna do with that, Tasha? So the manager leaves and Ghost comes, right? He comes in and they have a pretty interesting conversation. And she's like, yo, what is this? You about to roll on Tariq and, turn him in or snitch on him. And he was like, I would never do that to my son. But now that I think about it, that's probably a good ass idea. Because when I'm over here up in Albany making moves, that could be very beneficial, not to Tariq, to you, in case you get caught up. Because you over there murking best friends and whatnot. Okay. He was like, yo, D'Angelo, how does it feel? How does it feel to be over there murking your best friend? And of course, in Ghost's perspective, he didn't harp on Keisha like that. So this is another way that the writing is showing, like, this is really in Tasha's mind. Like, she really feels guilty murking Lakeisha, which she should. But honestly, I would justify it because at the end of the day, Keisha was over there running to get blickies and whatnot. So at the end of the day, Tasha, I understand your guilt, but she forced your hand, low key. So I'm not even mad at that. So she asked Ghost, like, did you ever love me? He was like, yeah, I used to love you. I actually do a little bit now, like 2%, just like the milk. But you never loved this side of me, Tasha. So they in the bedroom right now, and he was pointing like right there now, man, without one motherfucking spot. You told me you wanted me to be the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. And I want to say that was episode 1, season 1. I could be wrong. It could have been episode 2 or a later episode. I really feel like it's episode 1, but if not, I feel like that's a great callback, meaning, being that this is the last episode, like, you got to bring that line back because that was kind of an infamous line. So I'm like, yeah, Tasha, you... Not saying that he would not have cheated with Angie, but that didn't help, baby girl. That did not help. Like, you was over there looking at the receipts from Truth, like turning your nose up, like that wasn't real money. Like, y'all really could have been in a good place right now, but you was over here being naive. And that's the annoying part. You from the hood, and that's the thing. I know she thought highly of Ghost and with their partnership to where she felt that Ghost was pretty much the best drug dealer possible, that he could have, maintained this lifestyle without any repercussions. But I feel like, Tasha, come on now. Like, are you really being realistic? Like, Ghost was that guy, don't get me wrong, but most drug dealers do not escape like for real. Either is death or imprisonment. It's the loss of the funds. Like, something's going to happen. That lifestyle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know every drug dealer, so I can't imagine. There's probably those ones out there that made their bread and got out, made some businesses. It is what it is. I actually have a family member that was very successful he actually died due to a health issue. So, and that's, I'm not laughing at that, but I'm just laughing at the fact that he I don't know, but if he wouldn't have passed away, he probably would have still tried to be in the game, or something probably would have happened. You never know. But at the end of the day, you are not going to have this lifestyle and be left unscathed. Like that's the half smart chicken head he be talking about. I'm just saying. Support gaming, you said, when you think about it, Dre and Tate basically got Ghost to get himself smoked. Yeah, they were definitely part of it on some way. You said the ultimate winner of Power is Kanan and Tate. You think Kanan is a winner? That's interesting. Tasha never loved James St. Patrick. She loved Ghost. That is facts. DeMarcus. Support game. He said Tasha been knowing Ghost since she met him in college. He taught her the game. She got used to the fast life. He brought instead of evolving. Yeah, it's a lot. Tasha, the mastermind, half smart chicken head green is at it again. Yeah, and that's the frustrating part, because, and that's with any relationship, you know, throughout your journey of being together and having careers and what have you, you know, you want to be able to change and evolve and grow. And honestly, I've just discovered that in my own self in life, because before you get married, you always hear marriages work, but nobody tells you what the work is. And it's one of those things where sometimes you got to find out on your own or through your own experiences. And I think what makes a marriage successful is that you guys, as you guys grow and evolve and elevate, well, you should be elevating, but I'm just going to say grow and evolve, or grow older, because sometimes you can stay in marriages and people don't evolve or grow. But as you spend your years together, you can either accept each other and continue to learn the new versions of you or each other, or you're going to drift apart. And I did question this when I was reviewing this particular season, I believe season 1, when Ghost, it seems like he had this idea to be legit in his head without truly discussing it with Tasha, even though it's a completely understandable decision. But if she is truly the half smart chicken head that she is, she was never going to be down with Ghost if she did not know that this was his ultimate plan. But we didn't know the ins and outs of the conversations that they had throughout the years to determine, if he's had these conversations with Tasha or even Tommy. You know what I'm saying? And the interesting part is with Tasha, she ended up with Silver because he gave her some sense of, don't get me wrong, I feel like he was kind of a rebound, but he gave her a sense of security. But you could have had that with Ghost, but you had to go through those tragedies of losing your daughter, your son being kidnapped, Ghost being locked up. You had to go through all those things stupidly to realize, like, oh, selling drugs is really not smart. Like, that's wild to me. And maybe from a chick that grew up in the suburbs or a nice neighborhood with no crime, maybe I can possibly expect that. But you grew up in the projects in Queens, girl. Like, you cannot tell me you was over here being willfully ignorant like that. That's ridiculous. America, then what's up? How are you? Thank you for coming through. You said the Power fandom's conclusion that Tasha is the villain is high level delusion. Oh gosh. Support game. You said Kanan, even though he died, won in the end through Tariq got his revenge against Ghost. You know what? Now that you put it that way, support gaming, I see your perspective. But I honestly feel like if someone's deceased, they still not a winner. But I can understand what you're saying. I'm being very, very technical. DeMarcus, you said Kanan had Ghost smoked from the grave and done more damage than sex. I mean, you guys are making viable points. Support game, he said after watching book 2 all the way through, Tariq dodged a bullet with Diane, and he ended up making the same mistake Ghost Tasha. That is facts. They didn't need to have that baby. America, then you said it took Tasha all that to want to get out of the game, and all Ghost had to go through was Burika. Magic, I guess. Yeah, that Angie. SJ Smith, what's up? He said in the end, Tariq achieved all of Kanan's goals for him. Yeah, that is. I mean, in OG Power, yes. In book 2, you know, it is so complex. It's really given life is imitating art. What we see going on with 50 Cent and Meech and the whole Finnery clan. Okay, so we still in the penthouse, right? So Tasha, she was like, yo, Ghost, like, what about our son? Like, why don't you love him the way I love him? You know, I'm willing to do anything and everything to protect him. And Ghost was like, that is Tariq's problem. You're always saving him and you're not allowing him to own up to his responsibilities and pay for his mistakes. And I agree with that. And that's part of like the maternal spirit. You know, we're coddlers, we're savers, we're fixers. And, you know, not saying women cannot be stern or, you know, disciplinarians. We certainly can, but we are innately, you know, wanting to save and coddle, you know, our children, you know, but that's why you need the balance of a mother and a father, you know, to be able to play off each other. But at the end of the day, I do see fathers out there, you know, who play the cuddle role, and the mothers are the disciplinarians. It's all, you know, every family has its own dynamics, you know, and I am being specific when it comes to gender roles, and it's not always cut and dry like that, honestly. But I do feel like a child needs a balance of both, you know, protection and love and care and sensitivity, but they also need that discipline as well, regardless of what gender of the parent is giving them, you know, they need that. And I feel like Tasha, at the end of the day, she should have probably let Tariq own up to his mistakes, but we see how that went. Okay. Support game, you said Ghost be speaking facts about being a hypocrite at the same time telling Tariq to man up and confess on the stand. That is facts. So Ghost was like, F all that. Okay. Tell Tariq to meet me at my hotel room so we can talk man to man. Okay. Mano y mano, right? So later on that day, Tasha tells Tariq, you know, about the conversation she had with Ghost, and Tariq was like, dang, you want me to turn myself in? Like, God damn, like, help me, please. Like, what are we doing here? So Tariq goes to Ghost Hotel, and as Support Gaming was mentioning earlier, like in this scene, from Tariq's perspective, Ghost, not saying he's a sloppy drunk, but his mind is altered with the liquor, okay? But in episode 10, it Ghost's perspective. Like I said, I recount Ghost pouring himself a drink, but it wasn't like, it seems like that was his first drink of the day. So very different perspectives, right? In this scene, the dialogue is very different, and the actions as well. Like Tariq's perspective, the actions between Ghost and Tariq was very physical. Like Ghost was yoking him the F up in Tariq's perspective, which is wild. But that's what Ghost be doing when he be on that bottle. But yeah, and that's the thing too. Like we can all debate whose perspective do we believe, you know, but they always say, you know, there's his truth, her truth, and somewhere in the middle is the real truth. So it is what it is, right? So the first thing that Reek said to Ghost was wild as fuck. He said, you want me to turn myself in? This is the things I get for putting down an MF that put down my sister. Now, it was funny, and don't get me wrong, it was hilarious. And from a kid's perspective, I could see how he feels that way, even though, Tariq, it was your fault that all this happened, right? I feel like if you would have just came clean and told your father or somebody else what was going on, we could have handled this a different way. But playing devil advocate, his parents weren't being honest with him. So he's pretty much picking up the traits of his parents, is lying and hiding and being deceitful and trying to handle things on his own without divulging all the information and details that everybody needs to know. So it's on brand, especially with Ghost, but with Tasha and Ghost at the end of the day. So it gets very heated. You know, Tariq was like, F you, I hate you, yada, yada, yada. He was like, you want me to confess? Cool, I'll confess. But I want you to confess. Tell me everything you've done, and let's start off with Breeze. And so Ghost sits down. He was like, you know what? I love Breeze. He was family to me. But he pretty much wasn't rocking with my plan. So he had to go. I gave him one last chance to get on board, but it didn't work out. So I had to get him out my way. And what did Tasha tell Tariq early in the episode? Like, your father taught me, if I need to get somebody out the way, I got to get him out the way. Okay, so Tariq goes back to his house with Tasha, their apartment, and they pretty much recap the conversation between Tariq and Ghost, right? And so Tariq was like, I saw it in his eyes. Like, he will legit murk me. Okay, this fool ain't playing with me. And I don't think Ghost would ever. I can't see Ghost ever murking Tariq. Let me know if y'all agree or not, because I don't think Ghost would ever do that. So, I mean, he would yoke him up. Okay, he did put a blicky in his face, but he wasn't going to do anything. So Rick was like, yeah, I even think he'll turn me in for Ray Ray. Tasha was like, well, I think he will actually turn me in for Keisha. So they both scared because we already know Ghost is trying to live a legit life, not even just legit. He's trying to be in politics. And we already know there be some shadiness going on over there. Okay, so it would not be too far off what's going on in real life. But, you know, Ghost is going to do anything he need to do to keep his record clean going forward. Okay, because the past is shady as I don't know what. Okay, it's giving very much Eminem. So Tasha was like, I'm going to stop him. Okay, he has this party coming up, right? He's like, all right, cool. At the party at Truth, you're going to go there. You're going to tell your father. You're going to want to confess. And then I have the key to the Escalade now. So, you know, when everything is shut down, you're going to text me. I'm going to be in the Escalade in the back seat. So when your father come down and on his way home, he's going to go night. Okay. But if you don't want this to happen, you got to let me know now. And I'm like, Tasha, this is not the type of situation where, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say I respect her posing that question to Tariq, but this is a wild ass question to ask. Like, let me know now if you don't want your daddy to be murked. Like, first of all, Tariq is a child, even though he's doing very much adult things. Like, this is a wild conversation to have. But Tariq was like, nah, I'm cool with it. Because they both don't want to go to jail. And I'm like, look at here. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot. So she was like, okay, well, we both got to stick to the plan. We both got to stick together. Okay. So all we got to do is protect each other. We'll be good. We'll be Gucci, right? So she goes to Q's house. So she manipulates Q to drop her off at Ghost. She gives him this story that, you know, she wants to give him some paperwork. And, you know, he already saw what Ghost did to her arm. So he wants to be her protector or what have you, you know. Poor Q. She lined him up. But I think including Q in this whole situation was her demise. But we'll get to that in a second. So, you know, I just need you to drop me off, yada, 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 right? So this is part of her whole alibi. So we at the party, you guys. Well, before we get into the party, let's see what y'all talking about. So Support Gaming, you said, what's funny is that a day ago, Ghost killed another drug dealer before the news announced running for governor. That is facts. That is facts. Ghost barely snatched Reek up. That is true. Like, I feel like all the times he did snatch Reek up, I feel like it was too late. Like, I feel like those kids was not disciplined enough. But honestly, we did not really see Tariq rebel like that until Angie came into the picture. That's when it all went left. Okay. America, then you said he he had just admitted to killing Breeze, whom he considered family, but he would go along with his plan. Yes, he would kill Tariq. You think so? Okay. And that was another thing too, was interesting to me. Even though it was like a cold case and that would be kind of interesting. I don't know. I just feel like, and I think Ghost at this point, he underestimates Tariq. But how would y'all feel if Tariq actually had a wire on and was recording that shit the whole time? Because it was kind of interesting that Tariq was like, I want you to tell me everything you've done. And let's start with Breeze. Like, if that conversation would have lasted, that probably would have been they probably would have been there for 2 days. Like, SpongeBob would have came on our screen, was like 24 hours later, like, because Ghost did a whole lot, okay, in just 6 months. So I don't know, that was kind of wild to me, you know, that he would say that to Ghost. And I don't know, I just feel like Ghost couldn't really trust his family like that. So I would have been like patting Rick down, like, yo, bruh, you got a wire because you want to know everything I've done since I was 16. Like, what we doing here? What we doing? Like, that was an interesting, you know, sentence to really say. Support game, he said, I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we find out Ghost murked his own pops. You know, power love parallels. That is true, but yeah, I don't think they will go that way. Ghost version episode 10, he told Tariq that he was his age when he shot Breeze, but he wasn't sad or remorseful, but he's guilt ridden and sad in Tariq's version. Yeah. There were so many differences, and that's what I'm saying. I just love how they made the perspectives they were very particular about just the slightest of the things. Support gaming, you said, imagine if Tariq had accepted Ghost's plan on confessing in court and ended up telling on Ghost in front of everyone. That would have been interesting as hell. It would have been gave like G Money vibes. Like, he on the stand, he was like pointing like, yeah, I did what I did, but this fool. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I always thought about that. Like, suppose Reek was wired up. S.J. Smith, you said, I feel like if Tariq did turn himself in, he wouldn't been in position to snitch on Ghost because Blanca was trying to get him all day. Yeah. Both were bad parents, but yeah, Tasha was clearly better. Yes, Steven. And that's the thing. I always think about the what ifs, because they really could have probably pleaded, I don't want to say temporary insanity or what have you, but Tariq was a kid. I mean, it was a cop, so that's the complex part. If it was maybe like, you know, little Raheem from down the street, maybe he would have got a little bit of time, you know, being the fact that, you know, his sister, you know, got murked and he went, you know, and sunk, you know, revenge, but it was a whole cop. So it's just like, I don't know, black man murking cops, that wasn't really gonna work out too well in his favor. And then honestly, too, if Reek would have turned himself in, how would that have looked for Ghost's campaign in an office? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, we see politicians got their kids F up all the time. But that was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a tough pill to swallow. Like, would Ghost have ever even been like in politics? Would they let that slide? They probably would be like, Tate, come here, sir. Ghost got too much going on. He got too much going on, okay? You don't got no kids we don't know about, right? Because this one is a doozy. Like, I feel like it wouldn't have really benefited the family like Ghost. You know, even though I really would like Tariq just to own up to it, that's a little spicy. America, then you said, I'm so glad you acknowledge that this series is really only a 6-month time period. That's very important to consider how everything progressed. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we forget. Like, this is literally a matter of, and I'm saying 6 months is an estimate. But even though it's been 6 years, this is really in real time, months, not even a year, you know? DeMarcus said, I do not believe that Ghost smoke his father. Yeah, I don't think that happened either. Stevie said, also, I'm at the episode where Tasha is the only one that can financially bail Ghost out of jail. Angela arrested. That pissed me off. I'm not even gonna lie. Support gave me, so overall, I don't see how Ghost thought Tariq confessing would work, especially if Tariq would have considered outing him in front of everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that would have worked out either. Stevie said the plan was never for Tariq to murk Ghost. Courtney, the director, literally said it didn't ring true for Tasha to encourage Tariq to murk his friend. Yeah, I think there was a lot of debates going on when it came to the ending story. Like, Courtney seemed like she was set in terms of how the story would have began and ended, right? It seems like she was dead set on dead or in jail. And when it comes to Ghost, and some people stated that Courtney herself said it, but I don't really remember it coming out of her mouth, so I'm not sure. But they stated that she mentioned, or somebody on the show mentioned, that Ghost was supposed to go out the same episode as Kanan when Ghost and Kanan had that battle in the warehouse. But I was just like, I wouldn't even like that either. Honestly, no Ghost, no show. I would say for OG Power. Like, how would that have worked? Unless they only intended the show to be 3-4 seasons. Support Game, you said, SJ Smith, yeah, making side deals with a mob boss who kidnapped his son. Support Gaming, you said Ghost was out of character the last few episodes. If this was seasons 1 to 3, Ghost wouldn't have had Tariq on the stand. That is facts. I didn't care for Ghost in episode 10. He pissed me off. Okay, I was like, you know what? You deserve it. SJ Smith, you said Ghost didn't believe Tariq really hated him. He thought it was just anger he would grow. Yeah. That is facts. Like, he was cognizant of, Reek's issues with him, but he did mention Natasha, like, it was just a phase. He was going to grow out of it. He's going to go to school. We're going to be good. We're going to be a good, legit family. Support Game, he said, I despise Kanan's death to this day. Imagine him in book 2 and seeing how far Tariq would have came. That's up for debate, because honestly, I didn't really care for Kanan's character. I mean, I liked his character for what it was, but I was never pro Kanan. Honestly, I always saw him as the antagonist. But rewatching it, doing these reviews, it changed my perspective on Kanan. I was like, hold up, Kanan low key is kind of the victim. Like, he's kind of the victim in this situation, because he was the one that Ghost got out the way. So rewatching it really kind of changed my perspective, and of course with life too, because this came out 10 years ago. So my views 10 years ago was definitely different than what they are now. So we at the party, and so Tariq, asked Ghost again, because this is hours later, Tariq, he's all dressed up with his little tux or what have you. He was like, you really want me to turn myself in? And so this is Tariq giving Ghost his last shot, as Ghost mentioned, what he gave Breeze. Like, this is his last ditch attempt to get his father on board. And Ghost was like, yes, sir, it's going to be the best thing. We'll be fine. I'll be in Albany. I can make some moves for you. Like, it's going to be cool. But Tariq is not, he's not trying to see cell block D. Like, that is not an option for him. Okay. So Tariq leaves and goes to meet up with Tommy, right? And Tommy, at this point, he's realized that Ghost did not murk Keisha. He was not behind a lot of the things he was accusing him of. So he was like, Tariq, you got to help me save your daddy from Dre, because Dre is on the way. Okay, he is coming. Okay, so you need to help me. So Tariq was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm not helping. Okay, I'm not helping. So Tommy leaves, right? Tariq, he calls. Well, he's in the midst of texting Tasha. Dre is on his way to murk, goes yada yada yada, but he deletes that. Thank you, because we can't be having no evidence like that, right? So he calls his mother, but she is in a car with Q, so she's not really trying to have no conversation, right? And plus, I was thinking, Tasha, she is smart. She is half smart, but she is smart. She probably did not want her cell phone pinging off no towers, near that situation at that time. So it could have been a couple things, right? So she ignores the call with Q because I truly feel like Tariq wanted to know, like, hey, what should we do? Should we back off knowing that Dre is going to handle it? Like, I was asking myself, like, what would Tasha have done if she knew, like, hey, this situation is about to be handled and we don't have to do anything but just sit back and wait it out, right? Because that will make them really clear. But in Tasha fashion, she always be wanting confirmation and make sure it get done. And I don't know if she would have trusted Dre to get it done. I don't know. Support, you said Ghost literally thought Tariq was still an innocent kid after already being kidnapped, hitting licks, catching bodies. I guess that's the naivete, child. I don't know. Yeah, and continue to lie to Tariq. That's all honestly Tariq wanted to know. He just wanted to know the truth. And that's the thing with raising kids is just like you got to figure out the exposure piece, how much you're willing to expose and divulge and when, you know, because I feel like completely making them ignorant to their past and even their current lifestyle was silly. Because you can't be over here a whole kingpin, no matter how great of a kingpin you are. I think it behooves you to let your kids know, like, maybe not everything, but at least let them know, understand, like, they need to have their heads on the swivel. Y'all don't watch cartel bosses and things that be happening and going on. Like, I don't know. And I blame Tasha too, because she was very much naive, because she still wanted him to be the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. Oh Lord, she get on my nerves. America, then you said, over the years, I've developed a small amount of empathy for Ghost because back then I loathed that man every season. Yeah, I do have a special place in my heart for Ghost. Don't get me wrong, as complex as he is, I love complex characters. Because we all are layered, right? We all have, you know, conflicts of interest and all these things that goes on with us. We're not cut and dry human beings. So, you know, I definitely have a special little place in my heart for Ghost. So Steven, you said, I mean, he was literally with Angela every chance he got, like he had a part-time job instead with his kids. That is facts. Okay, Ghost, he wasn't checking them kids like that, not on the regular. Okay, not on the regular. What's up, Brillo? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. You said he was a terrible man, and even worse, father. He's not cutting any slack for a Ghost. Okay. Oh gosh, support game. You said to this day people still believe Ghost is alive and coming back. Yeah, because they never nipped it in the bud, because maybe they wanted to have that window open. I don't know. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brillo. The big review. Thank you for the $5. You said thank you, grandson. Tariq the machine is ready. I cannot deal. Oh my gosh, I cannot deal. As Jay Smith, you said Tariq probably would have had the same issues with Lorenzo. So Tasha don't answer the phone. So of course, I don't know. I just feel like the what ifs be like going through my brain. Like, what would they have talked about and discussed and determined, you know, what their next steps would have been if they knew Dre was on the way, right? So back at Truth, the party's over. Ghost is over there, you know, shutting down shop, turning down the lights. I don't know. I understand it's his business, but a small part of me, even though he's Ghost and he's that dude, I always feel like he needed to have like more security, or like at least at the club. Because it always baffled me and frustrated me that the Club Truth door was always open. 3 a.m. to 3 p.m., noon, 5 p.m. People was going in and out of Truth like nobody's business. I'm like, no, Ghost, like, you need to lock them damn doors. What are we doing here? Like, I hated that part of the show. Like, no, we got security cameras. Technology is a wonderful thing. Okay, if you in your office and don't want to come all the way down, buzz them in or something. Like, lock the doors. Like, what are we doing here? Security was just not an option over there at Truth. Like, it pissed me off. So Q, he drops Tasha off down the street from Truth, okay? And he was like, well, what's the address? She was like, oh, we don't need the address. Just put me around the corner. I'm like, this is giving suspicious. Okay, Tasha, I'm gonna need you to do a little better, okay? So she goes into, the parking garage or deck, what have you, and she goes in the back seat of the Escalade, and you can see how she's having some internal conflict. She's kind of looking at herself in the rearview mirror, like, am I really about to do this? But, she musters up the spirit, she was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So she texts Tariq, I'm here, let me know when, he's on his way. So Tariq, he's in the hallway and he looks at it. He's like, about to respond. But, when you got an iPhone, you see them bubble text, like somebody's actually texting moment, at the moment. But guess who get it? Guess who popped up in the hallway? Kanan. Okay. And it's funny because he popped up on Ghost too, which was hilarious to me. And Kanan, I swear, Kanan, there's no dull scenes in Power history with Kanan. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. When Kanan is on screen, he commands the audience. Like, that's one thing I gotta give 50. He did that. He killed that role. I mean, honestly, he probably killed it because he's a lot like Kanan, honestly. So it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch, honestly, I feel. So he was like, yeah, I'm proud of you. That little savage move you did with Tommy, yeah, that was fire because, not in this perspective, but in episode 10, and maybe Tommy's perspective too. I'm not, yeah, there was bits and pieces. Pretty much, Tariq, he let Vincent know Tommy's whereabouts because he did not want Tommy saving Ghost from Dre. So Kanan liked that because he wanted that get back, okay? But he was like pretty much telling Tariq, like amping him up, like, you need to go do it. You need to murk your dad, okay? He won't see it coming from you. He's not going to expect you to be the one to do it. He'll see Tasha coming from a mile away. And if you really want Tasha to be safe and secure from Cell Block D, you need to go and handle that, bruh, okay? Let your nuts hang. Like, what we doing here? What we doing here, Reek? What we doing here? So, of course, Tariq listening to his daddy. Okay, his spiritual daddy. And he's like, you know what? You right. I need to be the man. Okay. So, of course, Kanan Ghost leaves. And so Tariq, he pretty much closes his phone or, do whatever he did with his phone. So Tasha notices that Tariq has stopped, like the bubble stopped. Like there's no texting in action or nothing. So she's like, what the hell going on? So she thinking like, that motherly instinct came through. She was like, oh, this fool about to do it on his own. Oh, hell no. So she left the Escalade, started making her way inside of Truth. And then we see, Tariq pretty much approach Ghost. And Ghost like, what you doing here? So they have this long and short dialogue, however you want to look at it. But long story short, he was like, you know what? I've been thinking about what you told me earlier, right? But I remember, like, you never really told me the truth about your upbringing, about Sean. Like, you was over there hiding the things. And that's pretty much was the gripe and the thread of Tariq the whole time. He just wanted to know the truth. Are we over here selling that work? Are we murderers, drug dealers? Let a brother know. Let a brother know. And I feel like at some point, just give the boy the truth. And I know, that sometimes the way you look at it, it may not be the best thing because kids can be kids and they do like to run their mouth. So there is that risk you run of Tariq probably trying to be all big and bad at the prep school and was like, yo, my daddy, he murked 5 fools with 1 gun. You know what I'm saying? In 89, like, your daddy ain't like my dad. Like, you gotta be careful of what you tell your kids because they do like to run their mouth. Okay. But Tariq just wanted to know the truth. Okay, that's all. That's all. Let me see here. America, then you said it's one thing for the main doors to be open, but the office, while you bumping skins, they deserve to get caught by Holly. Even though they didn't even know. They were so hot and bothered like 2 raggedy, horny teenagers. They didn't care. They didn't care. Steven, you said I'm confused. I know Tasha helped, but did Ghost Tommy not open the laundromats and other businesses specifically to clean money? Hell, even Keisha was confident she could do that without Tasha. Well, that is facts. Yeah, they had parking lots, which they mentioned that was from, I think Kanan gave them pretty much a lot of ideas. Because I believe they mentioned Kanan had a car wash. So they definitely got their entrepreneurial spirit or ideas from Kanan, honestly. Thereby, from Raquel Thomas. And as I mentioned before in a live I did a couple of years ago, Raquel Thomas is the most influential character in the Power Universe. And if I can remember, I could probably try to find that live and put that in the description box because that was a fire live. Shout out to Brillo. He was on that live with me. How he broke that down on how she just influenced the baddest motherfuckers, okay, in the Power Universe. So Ghost and Tariq's pretty much going back about Kanan, okay? And Kanan, is in the belief that Kanan, Tariq is under the belief that Kanan loved him. He said, I even, stabbed him in the back and he still decided to spare my life, even though he had the opportunity to end me, right? And Ghost is like, he didn't love you. He murdered his own son. What you thought he was going to do with you? You think you special? Shout out to Marquise. Like, you think you special? Like, and we don't know. It could have been a point in time where if things would have went on, do y'all think it would have been a situation where if Kanan felt he needed to murk Tariq? I feel like probably, you never know. Because Tariq could be a shady mofo, but I think Tariq honored Kanan more than he honored Ghost because he felt like Kanan was honest with him, even though he wasn't, because he didn't even tell him his real name in the beginning. He told him his name was Slim. But Tariq, honestly, he was just so thirsty for that bonding, that camaraderie with the older man, he just latched on to wherever he could. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I just saw that in the chat. Shout out to Stephen Harris. He said Ghost was barely home. Ghost was barely home, which I get running the business in the home. Like, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. And Raina, she didn't require all that. She just, wanted her little cute little designer bag. She was good. What's up, Dante? How are you? Thank you for coming through. Yes, it's been a while. So Tariq, he said F all this. So he reveals the blicky, y'all. The blicky comes out and Ghost is like, hold up. What is going on here? What are you doing with that? And, Tariq was like, you gonna turn us in, bro, and we can't have that happen. Like, I try to give you your one shot and you blew it. Like, sir, I tried, right? And he was like, yo, you don't see me as I really am. Like, I'm you, bro. And I'm like, Tariq, I kind of beg to differ a little bit. I mean, you are your father's child, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to agree with Tariq. But I feel like Ghost would have just handled things differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tariq was just a knucklehead. He got on my goddamn nerves. So, Ghost was like, you know what? You do this, you can't go back. So just know you're not gonna be able to go back. He was like, I would kill to go back. Right before you started messing with Angie's stinking ass. And so as soon as, well, he didn't say stinking ass, right? I put that in there. But when he said that, and he specifically said before you left us for Angie, right? And so I love, Ghost did some help. Like, Omari just did this role so damn good. But the face that that Ghost made in that moment was like, damn. It was like, damn, I fucked up. And it was just like a aha moment. You know what I'm saying? Even though I feel like Tariq has kind of mentioned something like that before. Don't quote me. But I don't know. I just feel like Ghost really got it. Like, damn, like my actions really F-ish up. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that I feel like there was a lot of things going on, but Tariq, just because your daddy stepped out, that didn't mean you had to do all the things you was doing. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, that's you putting 20 on 10, but I do feel like divorce and things like that kind of screws kids up, So it's very complex. It's a lot going on because you was over there lying about your upbringing. You know, you was over there, left our mom for this chick. And the way Ghost kind of handled the whole situation, like he didn't ease on it. He like left for Angie. Then the next week they over there at Angie's apartment. Like, what we doing? We can't have a couple play dates with Angie. Like, y'all just really just, sprung this on the kids like nothing. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. Ghost, you didn't. Baby steps. Baby steps. You kind of sprung Angie on real hard. Okay. Like, it was a lot. So, Ghost was like, so Tariq, he was like, it's too late. And so Tasha, she runs in slow motion, right? And she was like, no. And then we see Tariq. And the Ghost falls down. It is a big rich town. Not in this episode, but that was kind of fire the first time we saw it when they slowed down Big Rich Town. That was fire. So Reek shoots Ghost. He falls down the balcony, falls on the floor on the first level. And so Tasha was like, oh my God, I'll go ahead and take the blame. And Tariq was like, no, we don't need to do that. Dre's actually on his way, so we could put it on him. She was like, all right, cool. Because he had the blicky that Dre gave him, right? And don't get me wrong, it was a lot of exchanging of blickies, so it could you got to pay attention to what the hell was going on with the blicky exchanges, right? But Tasha, she leaves to kind of dump the gun because Tariq was like, I already know what to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up here, and we gonna, reconvene. So she leaves. And Tariq, he looks down at his daddy, and Tommy is there. And that's when Ghost was like, let him go, let him go. And Tariq, in his perspective, he was like, Uncle Tommy. And then he's like, oh my God, Uncle Tommy, Uncle Tommy. I'm like, don't cry now, little ninja. Don't cry now, little ninja. And he probably was mad because he realized he done lined his uncle up and his uncle survived. That was another layer that he probably thinking about too. Like, God damn. Like, I'm batting at a 50% right now. Okay, I'm over here just lining people up. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of laughed a little bit when I saw Tariq was over there, like, Uncle Tommy. Like, he ain't your uncle no more. You don't F that up, little boy. You don't F that up. So Tariq goes in the hallway of truth. He changes his clothes, which is, very reminiscent of Tommy and Ghost when they murk somebody. They change their clothes. So on the way leaving, he sees drunk ass Sax being sloppy as hell, dropping his gun over there in the hallway. And I'm like, come on, Sax, you're doing way too much. So Tariq goes out back. He dumps his backpack in the dumpster. He's behind Truth. So he goes around to the front. And it's all this commotion. I'm like, these people work fast, okay? Because we got all the emergency vehicles. We got a whole crowd of people, everybody in front of, Truth. So he's back in his suit. So he's like, because, he changed to his thuggery costume, the hoodie and whatnot when he went to murk his daddy. So he's all being all like, what's going on here? This is my dad's club. What's going on? And so, police officer was like, come with me, son. He was like, what's going on with my dad? He gives the Oscar-winning performance. I'm not even going to hold you. He gives a great performance, okay? So, that damn Tariq. So, Tasha, we see her go back into Q's car. Q was like, what's going on? I heard a gunshot. She was like, I don't know. Ghost was there before I got there. I'm like, bro, like Tasha was going for a good 25 minutes. So back at Tasha's apartment, she's there. Tariq comes in and he's completely distraught. He's like a shell of himself. He just looks so just out of it, right? And so she's looking like, damn, I'm the mother of the year. The mother of the MFing year. So the next morning, we see the feds. We get a little update on them. So Warner, he got fired. Sax got his job back because Mock, he said that he pretty much going to need a friend in the office in the Eastern District. So Sax got like 9 lives himself, okay? Like, he stuck around mad long, like, for real. So, y'all, we're at the trust hearing with James's lawyer. So he's reading down, Ghost's instructions. So Big Mama get 1 year of rent. And she had the nerve to say, "That's it." No, she said, "That's all. That's all." I was like, "Big Mama, you trifling too. I see where Tasha can." That's all. Like, Big Mama, I don't know how much your rent is. And don't get me wrong, I don't know. How would I feel? I mean, because I'm the mother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? So in my head at that point, I'm thinking, well, my daughter, she'll take care of me. But of course, we don't know what's about to happen. So the lawyer was like, yeah, so his estate is pretty much divided in 3. So Tosh was like, yeah, me, Yaz, and Tariq. He was like, nah, bro, you're not in this. Like, it's the kids, okay? But since Raina is no longer with us, it's being, Tariq's pretty much going to get her share. So Tariq, he gets the clubs, he gets the property, which is interesting because James had more than one club, but at a certain point, they just showed truth, right? He gets the watch collection, he gets the stocks, the bonds, he gets everything, right? But there's some stipulations, okay? He has to go to a 4-year university, obtain a degree, and graduate with a 3.5 GPA. So he got to do a lot. So, because Tariq was like, "Oh, Mama, I'm good. We going to take care of you. We good." And no, you got 4 more years till you get this bread, sir, okay? So Tasha, she was upset. She was like, "So I get nothing. I get nothing." But y'all, let me know if I'm tripping or not, right? Because Ghost, they stated, not in this episode, I believe it's Pa's perspective in her episode. Ghost, she was told by Ghost's lawyer, James's lawyer, that when Angie passed, he amended his will to include Pa. So it was interesting to me that he did not amend it to exclude Raina. Now, I don't know if it was like a writing error or it's just a strategic move from Ghost. Like, hey, he probably never, came to terms with his daughter being gone. So never like removed her name. But I felt like that was kind of an interesting like detail how he included Paz because, like I said, this is in a span of months, you know what I'm saying? But maybe at this point, Angie may have passed a couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? But it was interesting because Raina at this point has been gone. That's crazy. Probably a couple months, but he didn't change the fact. And maybe that could have been like a little dig or a reminder to Tariq, like, don't forget, don't F this up because this technically your sister's cut. Okay. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a interesting little tidbit. I don't know. What's up, DeMarcus? Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. You said who's worse, the people who think that Unique is Breeze or the people who think that Ghost? Probably the Breeze thing, because I still think there could be some Ghost is still alive. I feel like honestly, if they wanted to make it work, they can, because we never had a body that was, shown. So yeah, the Unique Breeze thing, I'm kind of the whole Breeze. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand the curiosity with Breeze, but there's a fine line between curiosity and obsession. Like, I don't know, we may get into that, but I don't know. So they are leaving the office, right? And Tariq had the nerve to say, he's dead and he's still controlling my life. You just murked this man 12 hours ago. Like, you trifling little MF. I just wanted to yoke him up. Like, what are we doing? But that's mad wild to me as well. That the fact is, the next day, y'all are over there discussing this man's will. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that's a part of the process, but literally the next day, like normally the next day, you just, he's still at the hospital, at the morgue, you're trying to collect your emotions and your thoughts, and you do come to a point where you start making arrangements. But it was like, F all that. How much bread he left us. Like that was just really crazy to me. Even in Tate's perspective, when Ghost passed the next morning, the politicians, they was over there trying to fix things up. Okay, we don't have no time to waste. Okay, so Tasha, she was like, I gave that man 3 years and he gave me nothing. I was like, well, Tasha, like, how do y'all feel? Do y'all think that ghost, of course, he didn't know she was going to conspire against him, whatever. But do y'all think he was wrong for not leaving Tasha something? Because he left the kids something, but I don't know how that was going to work with Yaz. Like, I don't know if they needed to wait until Yaz is 18 to get the money, because Reek had to go to school, but I know he's a knucklehead, so I get that. But I wanted them to get more details onto like Yaz and exactly when she's able to get her money. Because if I got to raise my kids, I need some help, bro. Like, where is the child support? I know you, and I can't even say the upper room because this goes, but if you gone bye-bye, how am I going to save these kids from the projects? I don't know. Anywho, well, she could stay with Big Mama, but that's rent-free for 1 year only. So y'all gonna have to figure something out. So Blanca, she's actually conveniently outside the same, building. And she was like, well, not conveniently, I'm being sarcastic, but she was like, I need you guys to come with me. I have some questions. Okay. So we see Blanca over there interrogating Tasha, and Tariq is over there being interrogated by Saxe, right? Because they have all these questions about James and yada, 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 right? So Tariq, remember, he saw Saxe at Truth, right? And Tariq was like, they both pretty much are trying to frame Dre for the whole thing. So Tariq was like, bruh, I saw you at Truth. So if you want me to keep that on a hush hush, we gonna go with that Dre did it. Okay, so we got an agreement here. He was like, damn, like Saxe was like, yeah, I'm F right here. I'm stuck like Chuck. So he was like, all right, yeah, Dre did it. So he tried to convince Blanca that Dre did it, but Blanca, she ain't trying to hear that, but her hands are pretty much tied, right? So she calls the jail to try to talk to Dre, but she gets word that he's gone. Okay, he burnt to a crisp, okay, in solitary confinement. So she goes to see Two-Bit because they had a whole situation. So Two-Bit was like, you think Dre's punk ass was able to murk Ghost? Come on. You got to be smarter than that. Like, what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that Dre could have murked? I feel like Dre could have murked Ghost. I feel like he was confident enough to do so. I know Two-Bit kind of look at Dre in a different light, because they kind of was on the same level in terms of homeboys. But I don't know. I feel like Dre had it in him. Am I tripping? Let me know. So Tasha, she has dinner with Stern. And she pretty much is asking Stern to get Tariq into school ASAP to the pronto, meaning the next day, because we got to get on this education train, because we got 4 years of learning to do before we get this money. So, Stern, he actually built the library in Stansfield, so he got ties there, right? So he was like, no problem, but I need you to come work for me. And so she was kind of acting like, I don't want to work for you. I'm like, Tasha, you need a job. A job. I know you ain't heard that word in a while, but you need a job, girl. Hell yeah, I'm gonna work for you, Stern. He probably pay good, everything. He probably gonna give you Juneteenth off. Like, girl, why are you tripping? This is not the time to be your nose in the air. Like, girl, humble yourself. So, she was like, okay, she starts tomorrow. Tariq starts, school. So we good, right? We good. So Tasha and Reek, they go home that night, right? So they find out that Dre is no longer with us. And so Tasha was like, well, that's not a good thing, because Dre needs to be alive to take the fall. But Tariq was like, nah, we good. And so he goes to bed, but you know how Tasha do, them brain cells start spinning. But I was annoyed because if Tariq would have been, clear and detailed on why they're good, I feel like that would have relaxed Tasha's nerves more. But the fact that she wasn't really clear and didn't trust Tariq and what he was saying, she felt like she needed to clarify the situation. But I'm also thinking like, damn, y'all could still be good if Dre is deceased. Like, I don't understand why she felt that he needed to be alive for the story to stick. Because they all worked out, like in terms of the situation. Like Blanca saw Dre leave, you know, the timing, you know, worked out in terms of the gunshot. Tariq had Dre's blicky, like it would have worked. And maybe I'm no lawyer, I'm no judge, I don't know the legal system, you know, like that. But I feel like they could have made it work with Dre being the dude. But of course, Tasha and Ghost, they be doing too damn much. They be doing too damn much. So she goes, she goes to Q's house and puts it on him again. Next thing we know, the feds roll up and they arresting Q for the murder of Jane St. Patrick. So Q in the hallway, like tell him I ain't do it. Tasha, she all in the hallway, covered up with her little sheet, and was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So the next morning, Tasha getting ready for work. So she think knockety knock, it's Blanca. She was like, bruh, we arresting you. She was like, what are you talking about? She was like, well, Q told us the whole story. And what Tasha wasn't banking on was Q getting an alibi. And Blanca said, yeah, Q thought he needed an alibi. So he went to the store and he was on the camera at the store while he was waiting for you inside Truth. And that's what F Tasha up. Because I'm like, you included this whole nother person and the alibi wasn't airtight. And that's what you get for doing too much. It would have been fine if Dre would have been the doer. That would have been perfect. Am I tripping, y'all? Am I tripping? Do y'all see any holes in Dre being the doer? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. So Tasha is arrested and we see her getting booked. She's taking that wig off. The Meek Mill braids is all exposed. And then while she's being booked, we see Tariq over there getting books for school. And he's not enrolled in Stansfield, looking for his class. And then the show ends. Which, in hindsight, I don't like that ending. Like I don't want to call it trash per se, but I don't know. I don't know exactly, and don't remember how I really felt at that moment when I watched it for the first time. And I don't remember if it was no, they couldn't have advertised the spinoff because that would have been stupid. But I don't know. I can't remember how I felt at that moment, seeing everything unfold with Tasha getting locked up, Ghost gone, and Tariq in college. I can't remember, but rewatching it this time, I didn't like it. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let's see here. I'm trying to go back. Okay, so let me see here. Steven, you said even when Ghost had free time, not at the club or doing business, he chose to not be with his kids before anything after Rain the Past. He literally was with his mistress every time he had free time. That is facts. Support game, and you said at America, then Ghost, despite his flaws and lies, he still loves Tariq because he let Tommy shoot him. Yeah. We know Ghost loved them kids, but he didn't really give them what they needed. You know, some parents just think, oh, I provide with you, provide you with the basic essentials. I make sure you have food and shelter, but in terms of quality time, and a lot of people make that argument, especially, men that have, specific, and maybe some women too, but I've seen it in men where if they have a demanding job that pulls them away from their family physically, they always, make the argument like, hey, I'm grinding for you. I'm doing this for you and the family. And don't get me wrong, that is appreciated and understood. But I think the big thing with parenting, and just even myself, is just finding that balance between, juggling your career and, if you're a driven person and have ambition, juggling that with, your family time, That's the caveat. America, thank you, said the music, Tariq fake crying, Tasha doing a horrible job line and Q, chef's kiss, phenomenal producing. Stevie said live, give a clear example of being a horrible parent that doesn't involve ghosts. I don't know who he was talking about. I don't think he was talking to me. Support game, he said Ghost got shot in the heart. He is skeleton now. Yeah, that wasn't the best area to be shot to be people be thinking he's still alive. I don't know. DeMarcus, you said Tariq is a snitch because he told Sax that Dre spoke. Is it being a snitch or, getting him out their way? Because we saw early in that episode, Tasha was making a clear distinction between the two. Support gaming, you said, I know people hate this, but Tariq is basically Ghost now watching Butsu. Yeah. Some people even say he's a better Ghost. That's up for debate. America Thing said it was wrong, I guess. We literally hated her. What did she expect? I'm not sure who you're referring to. I'm sorry. I know I passed that moment. In book 2, S.J. Smith said, it was said that Tasha's mom was in control of Yaz's money because she was taking care of her. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I don't remember that piece of the dialogue, but that's why y'all here to help a sister out. Oh, Lord, Big Mama with that box of wine, child. Ugh, Jesus. Stevie said, yeah, that's not my argument at all. I agree Tasha is a better parent, but they both not good parents to me. Yeah, that's a long debate about who was better or not. America, then you said I will stand on the fact that Tasha was an innocent bystander and all of her actions were actually reactions to things that happened to her. Yeah, that is true, Candy. He didn't parent his children. He provided, which is necessary as well. But being a parent is so much. There's so many things that are not material based, that's intangible, that you need to do in terms of your kids, just spending quality time, teaching them life and valuable lessons, just so many things involved in parenting. And there's, like they always say, there's no handbook, there's no rule book. And honestly, each kid sometimes needs to be parented differently, it's ghetto, low-key. I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes parenting can be ghetto. It's very rewarding. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great positives with being a parent, but it be ghetto sometimes. Okay, it's just like we need a phone number. Like, hey, I got this situation going on. What you recommend? What is the parental hotline? Can we get that, government? Can we get us a parental hotline? Let me run this by you real quick, okay? Because I'm about to murk this child. Not for real. Not. I'm just playing. We not murking no kids over here. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hey Monique, how are you? Thank you for coming through. Support Gamer said he's still not better than his pops, though. He's still making rookie mistakes. Yeah. And I'm sure Ghost made rookie mistakes. We don't know. That's the part we didn't really see Ghost's upbringing. Ghost was 35 in power. Tasha was 30, Ghost was 35, Kanan was 40. So there's a good 15 years of pure thuggery and hood rat-ish that Ghost was doing that we have yet to see. And maybe we'll see that in the origins, whatever they're trying to do over there. Who knows? Monique, I'm for real. We need a parental hotline. And it may, I'm not trying to be, racist or anything, but we may need some specifics involved to get us to the right hotline. Like, the little lady be like, okay, if you're African American, press 1. If you're Caucasian, press 2. You know what I'm saying? If this is the child's second offense, like we gotta narrow down the particulars, okay? Because, and I'm not saying that we need to parent our children differently based on your race, but there are some cultural differences, I feel, when it comes to parenting. That's all I'm saying from my experience. Okay. Steven, you said, to be fair, also because Ghost in the show all has alluded to hating snitches and never told on anyone to save himself. I know specifically Tommy hated snitches, but I don't recall any dialogue, and I could be wrong, of Ghost really having the attitude like he hated snitches. Because that would definitely be very hypocritical, even though he's the one that's always setting people up and getting people out their way. But I'm just saying, it's 65 episodes, guys. So 65 hours, give or take, that, you know, we have to go off of. And I don't remember every minute. So I could be missing something. Support game, they said Ghost apparently never got caught for years until he made that mistake in Power season 4. What mistake? I'm trying to remember. And honestly, and like we said, you know, this whole series was in a span of 6 months. And the way they made it seem as though Tommy and Ghost really made it to that level in the beginning of the show. Like when they started with Lobos and everything, they had just made it to that level of distro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember. Like that was, they was kind of alluding like this was they kind of like promotion / graduation from not necessarily lower level, but they were graduating and they were still making great bread. I mean, Ghost already had the penthouse. He was already successful. He had the club, you know, so they were making things happen. They was not corner boys by no means, but that is true. You know, he flew under the radar. I mean, hence his name, Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Support gamer said, I will say Tariq did fix Ghost's mistake when it came to Tommy with Brayden by demoting from, being his business partner. Brayden was being too reckless on that code. Yeah. And that's what I mentioned, I recall, in my review of the finale of the last season of Power Book 2. You know, Tariq utilized and took heed to the mistakes he felt his father made and applied it to his own life. You know, he made sure there was a clear, you know, hierarchy in his organization. He made sure he, in some sense, you know, cut off his emotions and his, you know, romantic relationships because he felt that was a downfall. He made sure he had police in his pocket, you know, making sure he was up on game. So there were like 4 or 5 things that I mentioned specifically that I felt like Tariq was doing to be quote unquote Ghost 2.0. But that's definitely facts. Candy Love said, I didn't think Ghost earned the right to discipline Tariq. If you can't or haven't celebrated, congratulated, love, hugged your child, you should not be the one to discipline them on any level. There's definitely some truth to that. Like I said, parenting is so complex because you don't want to be the one that's always like disciplining them and not having a balance. I feel like each parent needs to illustrate that balance with that child and express the balance. But I do see that with a lot of parental dynamics that typically one of the parents either have to or they have like a dominant parental style, if you will. You know, there's one parent that's going to be looked at more as the disciplinarian or the parent like the kid to be scared of, and then there's the other parent where the kid is a little more, or child is a little more comfortable, you know, expressing themselves to or look to have that comfort, you know, even though it should happen with both parents. And honestly, I feel like it's probably best for both parents to have that balance and not be necessarily like a lopsided view on things. But yeah, parenting is a lot, y'all. It's so much. It's a lot. And I'm learning, like, y'all, I've never physically birthed children by my choice, okay? But, you know, I am a mom T and I have stepchildren who are technically grown now, but I am learning every day the ins and outs of parenting. And it's like I said, for the most part, because I have an easy child that I'm raising. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're instilling all the good qualities that you can possibly have, can do while you're, able to, and I feel like there's a window that you need to ensure that certain qualities are instilled. But parenting is a ever evolving thing that I'm learning. I've been in the game for 5 years and I'm still learning because there's new situations that come up all the time where I'm like, how should I handle this? How should we go about this? Even this week, I'm trying to explore different ways, different things, and it's hard, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I will never sugarcoat the ease of parenting ever, and don't have multiple kids because you can't. Sometimes what works for one kid ain't gonna work for the other, and we saw even with Tariq and Raina. Raina, she chose to be willfully ignorant because I do feel like, and especially after her death, just through dialogue with Tariq, Raina knew on some level her parents weren't right. But if daddy came through with a Fendi bag, they really kind of low-key made Raina look kind of shallow for, I ain't gonna lie. After her death, just through things that Tariq would say about Raina to his parents, like he was making it seem like, I ain't gonna say a whole bird, okay? But she was easily bought, and she was a daddy's girl. But it didn't seem like Raina required as much as Tariq. But at the same time, Tariq wasn't trying to be with the bullish. Okay, Tariq wanted his questions answered. Okay, Raina was fine with the Gucci and gold. Okay. Let's see here. Support gaming. You said Tommy always held Ghost back and nearly got them both in trouble. Yeah, I do feel like Tommy, there was a lot, but I also do think Tommy added to their dynamic, because Tommy was more of the face. I feel like Tommy, not saying Ghost didn't have street cred, because his reputation was definitely there, but Tommy was the one just willing to like do the wild ish or do the ish that needs to be done. I don't know if we can completely have that operation run as smoothly without someone like a Tommy, and Tommy definitely had his faults, but I felt like he was needed, because the Ghost couldn't do all the things, he was living a double life. So he needed somebody like Tommy to be able to handle certain things, but Tommy had his faults. Definitely. DeMarcus, you said my favorite Tariq. Oh Lord, it's 12:15. My favorite Tariq and Tasha moments were when they were in prison. I bet. Support game, you said if this show is a span of 6 months, how Tariq go from being 12 and 16 that quick? Yeah, they mentioned that, and I specifically remember Courtney Kemp on the live, because I don't remember I feel like maybe that was either book 2. Yeah, it was book 2 when Courtney Kemp, she started to do lives to kind of answer fans' questions. But I feel like she may have answered it before then. But she mentioned that she had to change throughout the course of the season. She had to change the ages of the kids to speed up the story. And also there was a kind of some hesitancy. And I know I use that. I fucked that up. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. It's late and I'm tired. But she mentioned that Tasha, she didn't look old enough to have a 16-year-old. So they decreased the age that they originally wanted the twins. So that's why she had the twins age be 12 when they first started. But after they got the ball rolling, because they wanted Tariq to start off with a bang. They wanted Tariq to be with the BS originally, like in the beginning of the show, or earlier than what had actually happened. But that's pretty much was her reasoning for, changing the age of the kids, because it was taking too long for them to grow up. So that's why she changed it. It was giving soap opera a little bit. You know how them soap operas be. Like little Timmy could be born in February and then he'd be married with kids in March. And it'd be like, what the hell? Like, that's why I can't watch soap operas no more. Because if you missed the episode, 10 years that went by. And you like, what? What we doing? Candy said that handprint put Ghost in jail. Yeah. Taking that glove off. Yes, it is a full-time job, Candy. It's a lot. It's a lot. DeMarcus said James St. Patrick wanted to teach Tariq about running Club Truth. Yeah, he definitely wanted to. Probably, what he would have preferred his dad do for him, I'm talking about Ghost's dad do for Ghost. DeMarcus said, imagine if Tasha got a letter from James while she was in prison. That would have been facts. That is facts, but I don't necessarily think. Well, he could have still wrote it because he did allude to the fact that she was going to go down, for the hood ratness that she was doing. But I ain't gonna lie, that would have been fire. Support Gammy said, no way the whole ritual power took place in the span of 6 months. No, yeah, they mentioned that. Like, they mentioned that numerous times. Like, and Courtney told us numerous times, like, even though these are 6 seasons, this really only happened in a span of months. And I said 6 just as an estimate, but it could have been less and it could have been more. Like, she's mentioned that numerous times. Like, this show, and that's confusing in itself, right? But she said it numerous times. I heard her say it, that this is only in the course of months. Not Tariq is special. America then used to ask for gaming. The show was filmed for 6 years, but the timeline is only 6 months. The kids age in real life, so they had to reflect. Yeah, that was part of it too. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe, but that's what Courtney said, so I'm gonna believe her. She's the writer. Stevie said he didn't rat him out. He got Kanan set up. Tasha was the one who gave the police the anonymous tip. That was both their doings, though. That was the combination of, that was pretty much Ghost and Tasha working together. Because, I mean, it's clear in the dialogue as well. He didn't say specifically Kanan in the finale, but he told Tariq himself, like, he wanted to get Breeze out the way. And that's kind of, Ghost's MO. Like, he opts out of murking people that he loves. I mean, except for Breeze. But, he probably learned that from the Breeze situation. Like, yo, I don't want to go to the extreme of murking somebody, like someone that I love, because that probably affected him. So when it came to Kanan, he was like, you know what? There's another way where I can keep him alive, and keep him out my goddamn way. So that's probably what inspired him to set Kanan up. But I don't think it was, I mean, it could have been, we don't know the particulars, but based on, what's been said in the show, I feel like it was definitely a combination of Ghost and Tasha. Because don't get me wrong, Tasha gave Ghost a lot of ideas, a lot of strategic, ideas. She wasn't just over there just running the books. Like, Ghost would go to her for counsel, or even just when Ghost kind of, talking about situations. And I specifically remember, oh my God, I forgot. We had so many different nationalities on the show that we was, but it was early on where she was like, how about you do those dudes like the Puerto Ricans we did back in the day? Like, she would always like give him, some ideas and spark some, some strategies. So yeah, y'all. Support Gamey said, you think the cops were in on it with Ghost setting up Kanan? Because how would Kanan get pulled over or a busted tail light and Kanan not notice? I think that's very possible, because one, if you riding dirty and Kanan is regular, well, I'm not thinking Kanan is going to do a whole like 360 checkpoint on his vehicle before he leaves. And don't get me wrong, Kanan is no idiot. But I can imagine, even me, I'll get in my car and not do a 360, you know what I'm saying? So I do fully think that the police don't have to be involved in that. Like, how many of us go to our cars, who has cars, because some cities, you don't need cars, you know what I'm saying? But, I can speak for myself. Like, I would just go and jump in my car. I don't go do a whole, which is probably bad, maybe, but I don't go around my whole car and do a 360 before I get in it and drive. And maybe if I had work in the back seat, I would probably be a little more cautious of things. But you're not thinking that. You trying to get that work from A to B. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Tamika. Oh, I'm so honored you're spending some hours with me. I really appreciate that. Aww. Hey, Dante, you said, does Famous die this season? Oh, there's so much talk about Famous. That's another sad story. Like I said, I rewatched Raising Kanan this week, the last season 3. Between Jukebox was probably the most depressing of it all, because I'm like, this girl can't catch a damn break. Okay, just born into the wrong damn family. That poor baby, like I got triggered, like rewatching the BS that she was going through. And I'm like, yet again. I'm like, damn, Jukebox, I get it now. I get it. But in terms of Famous, either he goes bye-bye, or he gets locked up, and at that point there's really no need to keep him in the story. So you can just kind of write him out and just assume that he's over there just doing his bid. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to think. Yeah, unless he starts like snitching, but honestly, there's nothing to really snitch on, Yeah, I'm gonna just say he gets some heavy time, and they write him out. But now that I'm thinking about it now, and I'm sorry, I'm a little delayed because I'm probably getting a little sleepy. Kanan did name Sean after Famous, so at some point Famous does die, I feel, but I just don't know if it's going to be during the course of this time period that the show is airing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's a good question though. America, then you said Ghost asked his wife one question, a stupid question, and 6 months later he had a dead mistress and was pursuing a whole nother woman. Of course, the whole family was discombobulated. Ghost was doing a lot. Okay, he was like, F them kids and F that wife. Monique said, hey there, lady. Yeah, I'm glad to see her in the chat too. Yes, poor baby, poor Jude, Dante. Support gaming, you said Famous likely get smoked, but if he gets locked up or get life, he might be that cellmate Kanan plays chess. That's what people were saying, but I don't know. I mean, they could tie that together, but I don't know. But we left off, the last scene I recall Famous being in is he was in the interrogation room with his mother, and because she pissed me off too, but he was requesting for a lawyer. They was waiting for the lawyer, and she asked him like, hey, did you do this? He was like, nah. So he's dead set on not, at this point, not admitting to what he did. I don't think he gets out though. Like, I feel like the rest of the story he's going to be in. Like, I think they're going to keep him in there, honestly. The Marquis said, why Unique Scar look like Jordan dunking the bat? I didn't analyze Unique Scar like that, so I don't know. Sport Game said Famous Get Smoked is likely by Unique, because if it ends up being Lulu or Marvin, yeah, I don't think we doing that. It'll probably be some, like, who knows, some jailhouse. I don't know. Because I did have a theory like last season that I forgot at what point we were in the season, but I did have a theory that Howard was possibly going to be behind Kanan. I mean, behind Famous getting smoked while he was locked up, because he knew too much and he was talking too much, because the whole thing, Howard was trying to keep it a secret that Kanan was his child, but Howard's no longer with us, so I don't know. The Marcus is that Andre Barnes, Rock's attorney, could help Famous get out of prison, but who paying for that? Rock ain't paying for that. She didn't want to get. She didn't when he got jammed up the first time. She wasn't going to go get him. She was like, "That ain't got nothing to do with me." Kanan was trying. She was like, "That ain't got nothing to do with me." Okay. And I do think in that last scene when Famous, they did ask him a question, I believe, and they was like, "Well, what do you know?" or something, and he kind of, it was, how those soap operas be doing that mysterious little look. So I don't know. I can't say that I don't care, but that's not really a character I'm like tripping off of right now. Sorry, Famous. But I think that's sparking like some questions because he's not like on the promotion picks or what have you. Support gaming. You said Famous worst mistake was ever meeting the family in the first place. So his mistake happened in second grade. Whatever him became. That happens and it's funny, right? Because when I was rewatching this season, it was reminding me of like how I feel about Tariq in book 2. Was like everything that boy touched gets damaged, like literally a cancer. Like the Hotep said, like, Tariq, you are literally a cancer. Everything that is close to you is damaged, including him. I'm sorry, Hotep. Support game. We said I sense a similar in the Thomas family, similar to the Tejadas. Rock will end up alone like Diana. Both her brothers are gone. Mama, no. I know that's a highly likely possibility, you guys, but the day Marvin Thomas, I can't even bring my mouth to say it, but if it comes a time where Marvin meets his demise, y'all check on me. And I wholeheartedly am requesting that of you guys. Because I'm going to be in my MFing feelings, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I was more of a fan of Lulu in the beginning. He's been getting on my nerves. I would be sad with Lulu too. Don't get it twisted. But I just built such a liking to Marvin. I'm not ready, y'all. I'm not ready, but I know at some point these characters are going to have to go. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. Dante, you said if anyone, I think Unique kills him this season, maybe. Why would Unique murk Famous though? I'm not saying it's like out of the realm, but I'm just trying to think of a situation where that would happen. Because like I said, I don't think even we see Famous out in the streets like that. I feel like they're going to keep him maybe. Famous survived. He went to go stay with his sister. That's what he needs to do. Get out of Dodge. Lord, don't let Marvin get... That's what I'm saying, Candy. Y'all going to have to check on me. Y'all going to have to check on me. Church may be canceled. I'm going to have somebody to fill in for me. I need a guest pastor because I won't be able to do it. I'm not even going to hold y'all. Sport game would say Unique is going to murk anyone connected to... You think so? Why would he do that? I don't understand why would you say that, Support Gaming? Unique don't have beef with the Thomas family. They actually helped him out. I'm just curious on how the writing is going to be when it comes to explaining where the hell he been at. Now I did see some like, little pictures and stuff, but and I don't get me wrong, I'm a content creator, I'm a reviewer, but some go deep dive down with the theories and the pics and the descriptions. Let me just explain. I have to still enjoy and be a fan of the show. And in order for me to do that, personally, I'm speaking about me, I don't want to consume myself with all that background things. Because I honestly still want to be surprised, and I still have to operate as a fan first. Because honestly, when I first started my channel, I started reviewing Snowfall, and I think it was like season 3 or 4. And it became, the way I was like doing my reviews, it became work, like a job. Like I was over there with my notepad, writing notes and watching the episode, writing notes, watching the episode. And I was like, damn, this ain't fun. I want to still be able to review the show and have fun. And I was taking it very like, and I still take my channel seriously, don't get it twisted. But I learned I have to watch the episode as a fan first, and then, rewatch it and, pick it, nitpick it from there. But I'm never going to, not never, I'm gonna say never, because I do, indulge in pictures and some of the scenes that are released, but I'm not going to be like spending a whole lot of time with every little detail before the episode, before the season starts. I'm not going to do that because, like I said, I still want to remain a fan. That's important to me because I was watching the show way before I had a channel. Well, not Raising Kanan specifically, but the Power Universe. Steven said, Marvin Thomas, please don't let the writers kill my boy. I know. I'm going to be in my feelings. I probably will get triggered, you guys. I'm not even going to hold you because I've been saying this since the show started. I'm not sure if it's on my channel or Brillo channel, but, Marvin reminded me a lot of my actual father who, left this earth last year. So I don't know. I probably will actually, I don't know. I may take it a weird way if he really goes. So it's probably gonna be a mess. So y'all need to check on me for real. Y'all think I'm playing? Check on PG, okay? So support gaming. You said Unique will think Rock played them the entire time. He got beaten in the head by his brother. Even everyone think he did, but Rock back in the game. Yeah, I can see, but I honestly think, see, that's the thing. We don't know to what extent his mental is going to be. We don't know how effed up Unique is going to be. So I'm hoping he's in his right mind enough to still, I don't know. It's so hard. But I don't think they're going to completely make him just like forget the past. I just think it's going to, the damage he incurred, I think is going to affect more so his moves in the future than his memory of the past. Because even what he did himself, when Rock said she was out the game, he immediately went to Stefano and was like, yo, what's up? So I don't think he would feel a way about Rock doing that. Even she told Stefano, like, Nick will understand business is business. Like, even though she did say she was out the game, I think everybody around her knew that wasn't gonna last. That was not gonna last, okay? She was really trying to do some Jedi mind tricks with herself. Like, we already knew that wasn't gonna last. Rock being out the game. What? Nah, that wasn't gonna work. I would have liked her to, of course, but there would be no show. Support gaming say Unique will believe Rock set him up. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how though? I just don't feel that way. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not right about everything, but I don't feel that's going to happen, but I could be wrong. We will have to see. And that's the fun part of, these shows. Like, I don't want to be right about everything because that's going to be mad boring. I might as well write my own damn show. Dante, you said maybe Unique blame Famous for his brother dying. I'm trying to figure out how fame is coming to a mix now. Y'all, it's late, y'all. So y'all gotta excuse me. The brain cells are they're operating very minimally right now. I'm about to get off in a minute. Candy said, I want to know where Unique was before he popped out. That's what I'm saying. Where were you at, bruh? Let a sister know. So Marcus said the death of Marvin would definitely turn up. Y'all really over here just y'all being disrespectful, okay? Y'all being disrespectful, okay? No more comments about Marvin. I can't take it. I love me some Marvin. Oh Lord, the box fade with the hard bottoms and the slacks, like. If Marvin go, I swear they better not be not too many more episodes after that, because not saying I'm not gonna watch it, but I don't want to stick around. I don't want to stick around. I cannot. But you said the death of Marvin will definitely turn up Jukebox, especially if Unique smokes Marvin. Why do y'all really think Unique is gonna be over here with the Thomas's family? Now, don't get me wrong. Storyline purposes, it will make things spicy because Unique just being back, he has to have a purpose, right? Like every season, there has to be an op in terms of, the Thomas family. I mean, it could be an eternal situation too. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But we got Pops and Snap, Crackle, and Pops, whatever the hell. So I don't know. There's so many ways that this storyline can go. It's hard to tell. But I am intrigued on like the end story of the Thomas siblings. Honestly, those are like my favorite. The siblings are my favorite of the show. Don't get me wrong, it's raising Kanan, and people, you can debate me, but I feel like it's more about the people in Kanan's orbit versus solely about Kanan. But yeah, the other characters intrigue me more, honestly. Support game, you said with the recent clips that dropped, episode 1 might be a flashback shown from Unique's perspective before the ending of season. Yeah, they need to do that. Don't be playing with us. We don't need to wait 2-3 weeks to figure out what the hell happened. We want to know now. Okay? By 12:05, we need to be getting into the things. Don't play with us. We waited, I don't know, maybe a year. I feel like it's been over a year. No, it's been about almost exactly a year. Yeah. We don't have the time. We don't have time. We need to get into it. Greg, you said, what's up, Greg? I haven't seen you in the chat before. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. You said, I think with Marvin dying, it makes sense. I just told y'all no more comments about Marvin. Y'all over here. I can't with y'all. Y'all really being disrespectful, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that's my thing too, because it's such a sad story. But it looks like Juke may be going into the army. I don't know. Do y'all think she's going to make it or find her way into? She's going to be a cop. So maybe the army, yeah. Because I don't see her. I mean, she could go to college, but I feel like she's going to do a stint in the army, and then she'll make her way in the police department, in the police force. But I am intrigued as to the events, even though her life has been tragic enough. I don't feel like enough shown yet to equate to what we see in OG Power. So I'm just curious of what else is going to happen in this woman's life for her to be such a cold-hearted bitch that she turns to be. Like, I don't know. And I do think, Marvin's death will be a catalyst. Especially if he dies in such a way that is horrific, even though a death is a death. But I feel like the way someone goes out, that matters too. We don't need to see Ronnie ever again. Ever again. Even if they show us what happened to Unique, if we have to see Ronnie from Unique's perspective, I want an emoji smiley face to cover Ronnie's face. Like, I don't want to see Ronnie ever again. Y'all hear me? Do y'all understand? Or do you overstand? DeMarcus said Marvin gotta go just like now you re-triggered me. DeMarcus, what did I do to you, bro? Like, what did I do to you? Do you hate me? Do you hate me, DeMarcus? Why would you even bring that up? Why? No, I'm sitting here talking to you, DeMarcus. Why would you bring up Unc? Who told you to do that? Now I got to go relax and calm my nerves with a glass of wine when I get off of here, just because DeMarcus had to bring up Unc. You know how I felt about Unc, but he did do a dumb move. I ain't gonna hold you, but we're not talking about accountability here, okay? Greg, you said Unique has some form of CTE. He's not functioning well in his mind, so he believes Rock set him up with Ronnie and everybody else. I mean, that's possible. Like, I do feel that some things may be altered, possibly, but I don't want that to happen. Like, we was doing good. He was just beating her down in the kitchen. I don't want that. I don't want a Unique and Rock beef. We done been there, done that. That's part of my thing too. Like, I don't want to have to repeat that again. We did that. We beefed, we made up, we, did other things. I don't know if I will be, I'm sure they will write it in such a way that it's still very much entertaining. I personally just don't want to see a Rocky Unique beef again. Just me. I need something different. I get bored easily. Candy, you said Marvin better not be brutally unalive. That's what I gotta say. If he eat a steak and dies, that's what I'm saying. That sounds good though, Candy. Nice steak with some onions. I just had steak, so let me be quiet. I can't be eating red meat two back to back like that. But that, love me a good old steak. Some potato. Oof. All right, let me stop. Support gaming. You said Marvin is possibly safe until season 5. That's apparently, yeah. I think season 5 will be a good season to end it off. We don't want it, going on too long. We'll have to get out of here in 2 more minutes. Dante Penn, you said when Marvin comes to his demise is when she goes to the army. But it looked like she about to go to the army, like. Well, what she had a little lunch date with the girl. She told her when. I feel like she said when, like next week or something. So she's supposed to be going, like, based on last season. She told Aisha that she was going next week or something. So I can't see Marvin going within a week. I'm not dealing with that, y'all. I'm turning the TV off. Turn on some Sesame Street or something, because I ain't watching it. Okay. Support gaming. You said OG Power made it seem like Jukebox became cold because her father kicked her out for being a lesbian, for raising Kanan recognized as Marvin. Yeah, that's part of it too, because Kanan did make a line when he referenced that, well, no. Specifically, Kanan said he was there for her when her father kicked her out. Now, there could have been another line about Marvin kicking her out in OG Power. I don't recall, but I do recall Kanan saying when he was with Jukebox Girl, who was nursing Kanan to health, I think that was a scene when he was like, I was there for her when her father kicked her out. But I did feel like they alluded to the fact that, her relationship with her father kind of aided to her, the savagery of, her life. So I don't know. But of course, we already know at that point, they probably wasn't even fathoming like a whole spinoff, you know. And I think Power does a good job for the most part, like not writing themselves into a corner. Sometimes they do. They do sometimes. But sometimes I feel like they do help her. I hope that we overlook some things. All right, y'all. I'm starting to stutter, so time for me to get off. Time for me to log off. Steven, you said leave him, Ronnie, off my TV screen. That is facts. I second that. Candy said, DeMarcus, go to principal office. Yes, please and thank you. All right, y'all. I'm tired. I've literally been on the internet for 3 hours and some change. Okay. Thank you so much, Candy. I appreciate it. Support Gaming said they changed the story because OG Power Kanan said he started hustling at age 11 selling for his uncles, but book 3 shows the opposite. Yeah, and that was the thing too. When he told that to Tariq, I remember that scene specifically. I could probably chalk it off to Kanan kind of fabricating that story to, you know, because that's the thing, you know, with Kanan and his manipulation with Tariq, he lied to Tariq a lot, low key. You know what I'm saying? So that could be Kanan really lying, or that could have been his truth on that show. You know what I'm saying? Because I went back and forth on that too. But you know, we will never know. So yes, you guys. So be on the lookout in the next within the next week. Of course, before Raising Kanan starts, I am gonna do like a recap of season 3. Trying to figure out the best day for that. So you'll know. I'll definitely put in the community tab when I'll just recap season 3, because I rewatched it if you didn't have time to do so on your own. And then of course, Raising Kanan and recap reviews will be on Sunday mornings at 11:15ish Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, honestly, I'm going to be focusing on Raising Kanan. I'm going to try to have some other stuff here and there. But I do have a second channel I just started that I'm focusing on as well. So if you haven't subscribed, if you don't mind, it's Channeling Chanel, and that's Channeling, and that's my name, CHANELLE. And that channel has nothing to do with TV reviews or anything. Okay, it's like vlogs and it's, I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of like girly stuff. Okay. But if you want to subscribe to get my numbers up, help a sister out, okay? Because I literally just started the channel and I need to grow, okay? So thank y'all so much. Yes, Candy, they made Kanan out to be a liar, okay? Because he didn't even tell Tariq his real name at first, okay? He said his name was Slim. So that's the thing, we can't even trust what he was telling Tariq. But yes, y'all, love y'all so much. Go to bed. I'm telling y'all to go to bed. I'll probably be up for another hour. Okay. Who knows? But I just need to get off the screen and wind down, literally. Okay. Today is Thursday. So yes, have a great weekend. Who knows? If I'm feeling froggy, I might come up for a little pop-up live. We don't know. We'll see. That's why them notification bells should be on. Okay. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming through and supporting. And until next time, toodles.